Hi, everybody. This is Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology. It's Saturday, March 30th, and this is your horoscope of the day. Today, I'm taking a look at the astrology of April. The month of April features a variety of interesting planetary transits. Here's an overview. The mood of the month ahead is rooted in the upcoming conjunction of the south node of the moon, sometimes called Ketu in Indian astrology, with Saturn in the sign of Capricorn. This is taking place all month long. This austere transit between the south node of the moon and Saturn points toward diminishment, limitation, or restriction, the setting of hard or firm boundaries, a relationship to authority, whether within or without, mortality, and detachment from whatever is frivolous or unnecessary. Remember that while the south node may bring diminishment and constriction, hard times build character. It may be something that you once heard your grandparents saying, or even an obnoxious gym coach, but it's true. Actually, most days on planet Earth are Saturnine. Most days for a huge majority of the population of the world are all about coping with the inherent difficulties of life. To be alive for most species, in fact, is to be engaged in a struggle for existence. The main thing that shifts whether we humans struggle with the struggle or build spiritual character has to do with the ability we have to seek higher knowledge, to cultivate healthy detachment, and to develop a higher taste. Although Saturn and the South Node can deliver a karmic bill that is limiting or depressing us in the month ahead, it may also bring exactly what we need to start inquiring about higher truth, or to rid ourselves of whatever we are clinging to that is actually frivolous or unnecessary. The new moon in Aries on April 5th, and then the subsequent squares from the Sun in Aries to Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn between the 10th and the 13th, point to the desire to set a very strong intention in the weeks ahead, but maybe too strong, or too militant, too structured, or too disciplined. With Mars, the ruler of the new moon, entering mental Gemini, and with the Sun moving into a trine with Jupiter in Sagittarius later in the month, whatever intentions we are setting in this month of April, we are likely to feel the need to argue, debate, fight, or assert ourselves verbally and mentally about it at some point. In the Book of Changes, the I Ching, the 37th hexagram is called Family Duties, and it has both a Cancer and Capricorn feeling to it. The hexagram expresses the need to create the right mood or feeling of security while also extolling the virtues of strong discipline, structures, and habits in order to keep a family or group together. Of course, for the ancient Chinese, the family was also a metaphor for the state or society itself. However, the third line of the hexagram, Family Duties, tells the story of a man, or a structure enforcer of some kind, who is too strong or too firm in trying to hold everything together. And because of this, his family grows to resent him, or he hurts someone or does something that leads to regret. However, the line also talks about the rest of his family laughing and joking too often or at the wrong times, too loosey-goosey, which is part of what leads him to being overly stern and rigid. Hence, the overall message is that to avoid the extremes of being too loosey-goosey or too strict when trying to keep something together, we should adopt the golden mean of moderation. If everybody knows their part and tries their best at helping to keep both ease and firmness together at once, things will go well. We see the same virtue or teaching coming from the full moon in Libra, which falls on April 19th and emphasizes the need for diplomacy, fairness, harmony, beauty, and ease. We can do things with ease and grace this month, even if the overwhelming emphasis of Saturn in the South Node in Capricorn along with the new moon in Aries and Mars in Gemini opposite Jupiter in Sagittarius, has us feeling like we're on the warpath or that we need to sober up, sit up straight, and swiftly eliminate all noise or nonsense. We can still do these things with an eye for beauty and balance. When the third line of hexagram 37 changes, it creates hexagram 42 called expansion. The hexagram discusses, among other things, the way to improve one's current situation in life. It tells us that we should emanate the way of saintly people. And it also tells us that if we want the loyalty or devotion of others around us, that we should act in a way that increases their spiritual happiness and joy. We should be generous. And then whatever changes we are trying to create will be less of a struggle for us to implement. With a little planning and mindfulness, we can avoid being the family members who laugh or play at all the wrong times, too loosey-goosey, as well as the white-knuckled father trying to hold it together too tightly. These are images of the month ahead, images seeking some kind of resolution or balance within each of our individual psyches, within each of our lives. The other major transits happening this month include the continued conjunction of Mercury with Neptune in Pisces on April 2nd, the conjunction of Venus with Neptune on April 10th, and the squares of Mercury and Venus to Jupiter in Sagittarius between the 12th and the 15th. These transits may bring beneficial friendships in the month of April, romantic liaisons, teachers, and learning experiences that are positive and beneficial. But they may also indicate grandiose or irrational thinking, an aura of romantic and sensual indulgence, and the potential for opportunism, popularity seeking, or emotional and mental manipulation for the sake of personal gain. Between April 20th and the 23rd, the sun will enter Uranus, just after the full moon in Libra, providing a moment of insight, illumination, breakthrough, and brilliance. In the Venus-ruled sign of Taurus, expect the need for greater harmony and beauty to act as a strong and even defiant counterpoint to the month's earlier severities. Finally, between the 26th and 27th of April, Mars in Gemini will square Neptune in Pisces, bringing holy wars and visionary crusades, the heroic calling to sacrifice or even die for a cause, as well as the potential for aggressive or martial actions fueled by fantasies. While the potential to join a cause or to recruit others to a cause may be helpful during this period, we'll have to be careful that we're not tilting at windmills. Like all months, the cosmic clock will turn and turn, and all of these things will come to pass, both in the ways that we expect or in the ways that people like me predict, and in ways that we cannot yet imagine, in ways that astrologers cannot imagine. But returning to the Saturn South Node conjunction, we should remember to ask this question: am I using this human life to seek out my source, to learn? Am I asking the right questions? Am I cultivating healthy detachment from those things that only make me suffer more? Am I cultivating a higher taste? Prayer. Build our eternal characters and give us the power of a fresh start. Please bless us with the best habits and routines to keep our lives focused on you, but mostly give us a desire for your divine wisdom and love, so that whatever we may start, whatever we build, however we are trying to hold things together, that we might be filled with the incomparable taste of your sweetness.